one series left for today's Heroes Global Championship, and you've got Gilly Knott here to bring it to you. Dread, did you recover after that last game?
Yeah, I did. It took me a while, a little bit, you know, but we managed to get a mini in, you know, think about it, recollect our thoughts a little bit. Yeah, and I think I'm ready for the next series.
That's good to know, because it's going to be another potentially action-packed one, knowing who the teams are going to be in it. Team Naventic versus Team 8. But before we go into that, we are going to check in with the standings for the HGC of North America. After B-Step's victory over Superstars, they will step ahead of Superstars because of the maps and the fact that they were able to have the victory over Superstars to be at number 4 in the standings. We're looking next at Team Naventic, who is second to last in the standings, going up against the second from the top, which would just be second, and that's Team 8.
Which would just
second
be
from the second.
Yep, no, it's in fact just second. And yeah, this is going to be, if Naventic performs the same way we saw them perform yesterday, I'm very confident it would be a 3-0 in favor of Team 8. The standings lean that direction, but after, again, the performance against Superstar, it really did feel like, you know, maybe the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to Naventic. But that being said, they're a team who can always turn it on. They always can. And that is the scary part about the series for Team 8, you know, because it's a very comfortable position to be in if Team 8 manages to win this in terms of like looking at the clash and the results there. But I don't know. I want to say Team 8 just like 3-0, but again, Naventic is such a fluctuating team.
Yeah, it's hard to predict what kind of version we will have of Naventic. One thing's for sure, though, I think we can expect some more Medivh play.
Yep.
But before we start breaking down this series, let's hear from the members of Team 8 and Team Naventic about this matchup.
I think that's probably the most wild team we have right now, Team 8. They're just a whole bunch of people that used to play and then streamers, and I think they're just going to try and play and then just stream. And if they do well, good, but I think it's more they're just playing for the experience.
Haven't really seen Naventic in a while, like in scrims or in tournament play. We've never had to face them in tournament, but we have scrimmed them a lot far in the past. I think they kind of seem sort of cocky just in their play style and just in general, so I think it would be kind of cool to just like stick it to them, just give them some of their own medicine, I guess.
I think we draft the best out of any team in NA, and we have more game knowledge than any team in NA. With my experience and Zuna's experience, and then like, you know, just we're building up like a new player like Tomster. We can build him from the ground up to just be an amazing player. And then Biggie and B-Kid are already like really solid. So I think we just have a really solid 5. We all trust each other. There's no backstabbers or anything in our team. And I think that's like really important, like having trust in your teammates to have your back and be loyal and all that stuff. Like that's at the point of my career, like I'm looking for like stability and like a family type atmosphere more than like, let's, you know, he didn't perform well this week, let's kick him and get the next best guy. Like that's not what we're about at all.
I think Naventic is probably the most mechanically strong team in North America. On their front line, they got B-Kid, who's got like quite good mechanics. Like I'm always scared to play versus B-Kid because I know he's gonna try his hardest to stun me. But like not only that, they got like Zuna, who's great shot caller, really strong mechanics. So the matchup against Naventic is definitely going to be a tough one for us, but I think we play our game, we draft well, we can win.
So Team Naventic is another one of these teams, just like we've been seeing with Superstars and B-Step, who came out of the gates. We expected to do pretty well. Just because of their sheer experience, if nothing else, and then did not, and have been slowly trying to improve. And we have seen improvement from Naventic, especially when it comes to drafting to their strengths, putting B-Kid on Varian versus something else, something that was a little more divey like Diablo. But after that last series, losing 0-3 to Superstars, their mindset has got to be in a rough place.
Yeah, it is. And they, you know, it is funny because I agree with you when it comes to the changes on the side of Naventic and improvements that we've seen, but it also seems like for every step forward, they're taking 2 back directly after. And so I agree that we have seen positive changes, but I think they're quickly kind of retracted at the same time. So now it's kind of like, what do we see today? That one step forward to be able to return, you know, maybe to an old position, or in fact, is it still a little bit of that, you know, secondary step back?
And again, elimination comps have been a thing for them with some things like Tracer Zeratul. We'll see if Team 8 takes the bait and wants to go for those fights, or just wants to play the macro game as other teams have found over Naventic. We're starting off with the Battleground picks and bans. Team 8 banned Dragonshire, and Naventic will ban Warhead Junction. The Battleground pick is going to be Braxis Holdout, and that's picked by Team 8.
Team 8 taking it to Braxis, and when looking at Braxis and the drafts on Braxis, it seems like Naventic overall, if I'm recalling properly, it does feel like they put a little bit lackluster commitment when looking at their solo
lane. Yeah. One time they had a Chen. They've also, in the past, they did get Rexar early on. In fact, that was their first Braxis game versus Tempo Storm. But then the Chen did not, it was weird. It did push Artanis way back in the lane, but sort of fell apart when it came to the team fight actual.
That's, you know, it seems like that's been the story of Chen since the existence of him after, okay, that's not true. His initial release, he was a beast of his own, but now a little bit different. Draft bans have happened. Zarya and Task removed. First pick Morales here for Naventic.
So Naventic picking Morales and banning Tassadar. They're looking more at the 4-man than the top lane.
I think Team 8 just transitions into a Gul'dan Malfurion here in this position, allowing them to commit a little bit to the 4-man, being able to match Morales as best as possible when it comes to supports, and then having the sustained DPS and the wave clear that Gul'dan can really kind of implement is a really powerful duo. Otherwise, you can fear that out of Naventic, and if you lose Morales and Gul'dan on this 4-man, you not only lose sustain, but you will lose the wave clear 100%. So you can forfeit that completely, or you can put your focus onto the top lane if you're Team 8.
Team 8 have liked to play Gul'dan before. It's one of Yoda's heroes. But then does that allow Team Naventic to go for Morales and Zul'jin after that?
I think that's fine, as long as you match it, you know, with your own kind of, I guess, backup plan here to the 4-man itself. Instead, they're going to go for kill potential. Varian and Vala is the route here for the 4-man on the side of Team 8. So what does Naventic want? Gul'dan, or is it the Zul'jin? Or are they going to try and avoid both? I personally always enjoy a little Gul'dan Morales.
Biggie does play quite a bit of Gul'dan. But they actually, I don't know if they've played Zul'jin yet on Braxis. They're not one of our teams that has picked him. In fact, they played Zul'jin on something different. It was either like Tomb or Battlefield of Eternity, but they still have been picking Gul'dan on Braxis even as early as the last series versus Superstar. So I think they will get that here. It's just what they want to add to it.
Yeah, and it maybe is the Gul'dan into the variant. I would like a focus on the solo, personally. I love the idea of moving, you know, again, putting focus on, okay, we've got a good 4-man. You've got Morales, you've got Gul'dan. There's not much else you can make that better with. So then looking, okay, now move to the top. What do we want at the top? Is it the Dahaka? Is it going to be Artanis, Rexar? I like a Dahaka Gul'dan rotation there a lot. Instead, it is going to be the Tychus and Gul'dan.
Well, Tychus, man, just makes that 4-man even scarier because he can put constant damage on whoever, Varian, who is sitting on the point. ETC is banned out for Team 8. So a little focus now on B-Kid. Medivh will be the ban for Team Naventic. Right back at ya, Glaurung, says Team Naventic. Now with 2 picks, Team 8 likely gets their top pick here. I think they would want to get their favored pick in the top lane over Team Naventic in this rotation.
Yeah, it makes the most sense to be able to prioritize that. Also, without having Malfurion picked up yet, making it this far, suddenly their kill potential into a 4-man is ridiculous on the side of Team 8. The fact that they have that with the Vala and the follow-up rooting to Varian has helped them a tremendous amount into this draft so far. So Team 8 looking good. Obviously, Naventic sticking to things a little bit more traditional. Ragnaros is, in fact, going to be their solo.
All right, last 2 picks for Naventic. Is this where we get Rexar from Tomster once again? Or is there a different plan for Naventic? Naventic, in the past, have liked running Sonya before.
Yeah, Sonya is very good now, and we see her, you know, post some changes. So she's come, I think she's been picked like twice, I think, so far out of Europe and North America. Maybe only twice in North America and maybe once in Europe.
I think they were, when I was listening to Tricky and Claris, they said something like 3 times in Europe.
So she's
more so in Europe than here so far.
Yeah, she's making, you know, a little bit of a showing now more than ever. I do think that Shrines is still a major selling point map for her. Braxis maybe not so much unless she's confident in winning the 1v1. The Ragnaros into Sonya matchup does seem like it should go pretty stale, but in favor of Ragnaros in the long run. Johanna to be able to complement the 4-man for Naventic. If Gul'dan Morales wasn't enough, they in fact have a Johanna.
Who does Tomster play in the top lane?
Artanis is going to be the choice there. To the 1v1. Now Team 8 has one more person into their 4-man. Who would they like that to be? And does it provide enough kill potential to be able to take out Morales, Gul'dan, Tychus, and Johanna? It's going to be a little bit harder with the JoJo. JoJo up in the front, obviously one of the better ones to not be able to get picked off. So it's going to need a bit of flanking, so I'd like some dive potential. I don't feel like Jaina is the pick. Zeratul, though, he can dive. He's pretty good at that.
Indeed.
It will cripple their 4-man a little bit more, but it should allow for more pressure onto Artanis. So Team 8 here has a very well-rounded draft. Naventic, you know, a little bit more commitment to the 4-man. They like their Artanis up in the top lane. I've pretty much said as much as I can about the Artanis. I get it, the respects of the solo. I just don't think in the long run, unless it commits something to the map objective, that I'm that convinced of the hero, especially like Ragnaros. You know, when matching those top 2 laners, one has wave clear, kill potential, and complements the map objective. The other just laning. And that's kind of where my qualms come. But overall, they have what they wanted, at least. You know, they weren't bullied at all in the draft. Same with Team 8. I just feel like Team 8 got a better, more rounded draft overall.
Yeah, maybe the only bullying a little bit from Team 8 on the Warriors. But for this instance, B-Kid still getting Johanna is one that is going to add to wave clear. It's a very safe pick here. Maybe even one that can help out too after swaps. You know, if she's in and someone gets swapped in, she can condemn the rest of the team away and buy time for the team to get a kill and making sure that Morales stays safe there.
Yeah, that could be a play. You know, anytime that you can get value out of the condemn with Johanna, it's going to be a really big tool. It's just, I'm more looking at the top lane, the Artanis pick, and how it matches into the Ragnaros, mainly with the Zeratul flank. Because once they picked the Zeratul, they committed to no longer confirming kills in the 4-man. They know they're going to lose in the wave clear department, and they aren't going to be able to out-sustain. So now it's about almost like a Zeratul and Dragonshire. Getting the kill on the top lane is the main focus. So can Glaurung actually be able to kill Tomster on top?
That's a great question. We'll see if he can do that. We're headed into Brax's holdout for game number 1 between Naventic and Team 8.
Well, we're just going to have to find out if they have what it takes. But, in fact, on the blue side here is Team 8. Buds is going to be on the Malfurion. Justing is playing the Varian. Yoda is going to be on the Vala. Glaurung, as always there, is going to be on his famous Zeratul. And Prismaticism on the Ragnaros.
And over on the red side of the battleground for this series, our Team Naventic. Kenma will be playing Lieutenant Morales. B-Kid will be playing his Johanna. Zun will be the one playing Tychus. Playing Gul'dan will be Big Impact. No surprise there. And finally, Tomster will be the one playing Artanis up in the top.
So when it comes to talents at level 1, everything seems to be a little bit norm. We do see Moonfire still coming out of Buds on the Malfurion. Not that that's not normal, but it's become less popular as time moves on. Reactive parry there for the level 1 onto the Artanis, being able to complement his survivability and his matchup there into Ragnaros.
Yeah, I like the Moonburn here for Buds specifically, knowing that the team is going to be less of the wave clear.
I think Moonburn is such an underestimated tool. When it, you know, we've seen Moonburn rise to popularity and then kind of fall out, and then it happens later again. It's popular, and then suddenly Scouting Drone becomes the norm, even when there are no stealths. I personally think it is a very underrated tool when looking at wave clear, even if it's just rotating, you know, throwing down 2 Moonburns, a couple auto, and getting, you know, a little bit of soak in transition, stuff like that. I think adds up. Either way, though, Team 8 here already committing Zeratul to the top lane to be able to match with Ragnaros into Tomster. Looks like they took a bit of damage there from the turrets and put them into a position to be a little bit weaker, but forcing the tap there out of Tomster. Rest of Naventic causing absolute mayhem on the bottom half of the map. And to no surprise, without the Zeratul there, it's going to hurt.
That is huge to take out that much, that quickly of damage. No kill yet on Tomster for Team 8. They've matched at least in getting a tower, so it will stay even in experience and structurally. But it's a great position in the setup for this beacon phase that Naventic can keep this bottom lane so far pushed.
Oh, I love that. That Thompson just comes down for a quick heal. He's going to be able to rotate right back up. For Team 8, though, when looking at their laning decisions, you can tell that they were concerned about not being successful in the 4-man. Actually, give me a moment. Big impact, though. Overextending, Justing with great punishment there. Yoda takes a lot of damage, though. Buds with the root onto Zuna. Ken's going to be able to eat the back half of that. And now the Shrine's going to be up. Warbringer is not available yet. Otherwise, Kenma may have shared the same fate there as Big Impact. But what I was going to say is that I can't remember what, in fact, I was going to say. But if it does come up, I'll let you know.
Team 8 understands that they aren't going to be able to win the 4-man.
Oh, yeah. That's just that they decided to commit Zeratul full-time up to the top lane and not even question his positioning. It seems like if that was the goal and you were forfeiting the bottom, rather than trying to go blow for blow into picks, speaking about picks, Glarum finally getting that kill he wanted. Zuna no 7 means not in range for the pick there, but just swapping the 1-4. You know, matching, going blow for blow. Just saying that you can't keep up with the siege, but in fact, they went a different route, and currently it's working out for them with that 3/4 level lead. Having 36% onto the Zerg Rush, things are looking nice here for Team 8.
It is, and it all started with one pick from Justing, even pre-having Warbringer, and having Overpower too. We've talked a lot about this talent, but man, against Tychus, carrying all of those auto attacks means he is going to be able to put out a lot of damage even as the warrior, especially once he gets Juggernaut at 16, maybe even able to take down Beacon in the front.
Yeah, and with that level 1 and 7, with the reflecting of the shots, it gets to a position where he might be able to, he almost can just drop 3 Ws back to back.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of damage negated. Not as much damage negated as Prismat needs as he ends up dying here. It's going to be a 3-2 split, still a 4 versus 3 on the bottom half. B-Kid moving up, going to get rooted there by Buds, but probably nothing to come of it as Kenma still has got mana, which in fact means the rest of his team still has health.
And that is the power of Lieutenant Morales on Brax's holdout in a nutshell. 100% Zerg Rush now on the table for Team Naventic. They'll be pushing up in the top lane, so RNG not quite working out in the favor of Team Naventic to be able to get the bottom push, but later on, once they get the next Zerg Rush, it will be able to go up against the lane that they've already put pressure onto the towers. Ragnaros is going to use Molten Core to do what he can to burn down the Zerg so that you don't lose too much structurally in this push.
Yeah, it's again, it's going to be throwing out the damage there, trying to remove whatever. So the siege of Naventic is not going to be able to get too severe. Justing, throwing out the Warbringer there. The well is now going to end up falling on top. That's going to be a cripple to whoever resides in the top half of the map here after this point. Not being at that well, maybe Prismaticism or Galarang, who we've seen for the first parts of the game. But on bottom, Zeratul's just been soaking. Artanis has been soaking, defending that beautiful Guardian with his 3,000 HP.
He will do work to these minions.
Oh yeah, he will. He'll stare at them with his weird arms as he lingers above and eventually loses his health.
Is that how you stare at people, with your arms?
That's how it looks like he's doing it. I mean, I wasn't saying that was a me thing. Like, I'm not a Guardian. Like, look at that dude.
Where are his
Those
eyes?
Are freaky. Yeah. Now you're wondering why he's staring with his arms. Yeah, I told you.
It's a great point. I'm sorry I doubted you.
What is he spitting?
Acid.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, like Bailings.
Bailings? Okay. You're the StarCraft nerd, not me. Gosh, calm down. My goodness.
Well, all the Zerg, regardless of what they're spitting, how they see, they're taken out.
Let's see what
Okay, well, you think what you think, I'll think what I think. Teammate gets their bruisers, their Raven camp, and Naventic was looking to see if they could get any kills from there, but not quite in position.
Ken was about half an inch from losing that shield. And very in Malfurion for the follow-up, but was very comfortable in the transition, was able to survive. Galarang looking for the flank there. Justin moves in, goes into Zuna. Medic is there for the heals right away. Galarang realizes, oh, in fact, Morales is still here, and I can't win this skirmish unless we're focusing her. Blinks right on out. Prismat and Artanis still. How do we say this? What is the word we're talking when looking at the 1v1? I called it the wet noodle fight, but you said it's raging on, right?
It rages on.
It rages on as they proceed to not die and soak up minions.
And when you're in that fight,
Clara?
It feels like it rages on. Cloud jumps in. Prismat could give movement speed.
He's got, yeah, there's no way. He's out. And this is going to lead to a free fort, but inversely, not a fort on the top half. A lack of punishment there on the side of Team 8. Or excuse me, Naventic. And that's really going to be able to hurt them. Experience now sitting 3/4 level advantage for Team 8, closing in onto the 10 shrines. Going to be up here in the next 30 seconds or so. Naventic looks like they might question, timing a camp with it, but in the end, It's really just going to be merely a setback, at least for now, for them, as teammate is going to get ahead. I would expect them to try and force with that Void. Yeah, this is tough. Naventic here in a really bad spot.
It speaks to the decision-making of teammate too. Yeah, like, yes, they did lose the bigger Zerg Rush, but they kept Zeratul in the bottom to hang out with the Guardian, which put just enough pressure on in this bottom lane that now they've put Naventic in a weird spot where they do have that fort almost down. Teammate almost have heroic abilities. They haven't lost anything. They have Ragnaros, so they could defend when that bigger Zerg push came in for Naventic, and now heroic abilities are here, and neither team getting too much of the beacon progress yet. Naventic just want to get their heroic abilities, but that fort going down means teammate can push them back even further to the base.
All right, so we've seen this from Naventic time and time again. They're down level 10. What do? They look for the fight rather than soaking the side lanes. We'll see if they make the same mistake here again, as it looks like they're feeling comfortable, you know, worrying a bit more about the soak, less about trying to take the fight somewhere onto the map. The rotation there, though, for teammate committing to the fort and not forcing their issue was a really mature decision-making coming out from them. Now Zuna possibly going to be baited a little bit too far. There's going to be the taunt. There's the root. That's one.
Twilight
The
Dream.
Living Meteor is going to be able to get the dismount here. And in fact, Kenma, or excuse me, Zuna ends up going down as well. Got to respect that Vorpal Blade KS.
2 kills just as Naventic were hoping to get heroic abilities. Spells even more doom for Naventic as teammate have moved on to grab the Archangel boss. Maybe sending someone up to the top beacon would be good here, but not wanting to separate out too much and lose this boss in this risky play. So now they'll send Glowering to the top.
It's just an absolute power play. Once 10's been picked up here for Team 8, you know, the experience hasn't stopped flowing, as now they are backing out here towards their camp. Naventic just managed to pick up the 10. Heroics are going to be pretty much exactly what you would expect. Zeratul still roaming there in the top lane, waiting for the answer of Naventic towards one part of the map or the other, and they will be able to pick up that. They see them on top with Zeratul. They're going to be able to pick this up on bottom, make the transition towards top, and that's where we can expect teammate to look to force the fight.
Beacon grabbed. Here comes the members of Team 8. Twilight Dream still off for 20 seconds, so Team 8 are just going to use whatever they can, their pressure, their presence, and knowledge of where Team Naventic are, to constantly get every advantage they can before they go into the fight. Make sure they have every advantage, including Twilight Dream. They don't want to fight even down one heroic, and they know that they don't necessarily have to. They can move up to the top just gradually and know that as soon as somebody shows in bottom to clear up those minions for Naventic, teammate move to the top and keep the push alive there. That fort's about half health. That'll just further the experience advantage for teammate, playing this out very patiently, but with control.
Yeah, it is very patient. Almost borderline too patient. You know, it is on that right in the middle ground where I would like to see them, you know, push a little bit harder to be able to confirm the map objective, which now they are looking to be able to make happen. But, you know, maybe a couple of seconds a bit earlier would have appreciated more. And then meanwhile, though, Tomster, Deadster, B-Kid throws out Blessed Shield too, not going to be able to connect with anybody, which means, in fact, Team 8 is only going to group up more. This is going to be a Sulfurous Smash that hurts really bad. Horrify even used.
Not do too much. Iron Skin was used, but Zuna goes for the Panic Odin and straight dies within it, so no
Cross
Odin
out?
to be able to help with damage.
I thought for a moment they just might med back to be able to get everybody else out, but in fact they're going to be able to hold on to it. 13 Talontier is going to be picked up here for Team 8 as they now knock on the top keep of Naventic. Still down in Odin, Horrify, and Blessed Shield, only leaving Artanis blind. And Morales is, you know, escape squad tool there with the dropship medevac. This is probably a keep. I don't see any situation where it's really not going to be unless a huge swap. But speaking of the swap, it's going to be attempted, taunted, and now a blind is going to be dropped onto the members of Team 8. But the keep is now going to be in their focus. 8k health remaining onto the Zerg Rush. Gul'dan doing all he can to be able to rid of that. So it looks like the keep's going to be able to stand. So very well done for Naventic.
Kind of helps that Echo Corruption was completed too, for Gul'dan to be able to clear out those Zerg and keep the keep alive. There is no mule though, so it is, what did I call it? Professional damage?
Wait, I don't know.
Blind Song. Dive on top of Tomster, Sulfurous Smash follows. Twilight Dream 2, and Bud stays alive. Artanis does not. Horrify throws Buds all the way back. All the teammates fairly healthy, they can stay alive from here. Gonna be happy with the 1 kill. Nobody captured the camp in that time.
Prismatic's like, don't worry, boys, I got you. Zuna and Kenma, they're trying to be able to survive. That is going to be a pick actually onto Glarum. Did not use the Void Prison there. The beam keeping Zuna alive. He's going to have the Titan Grenade in a matter of seconds. Oh, he just burned his dash, so he's not going to be able to get it now. Can Justing manage to be able to make it out here? Nade. Kenma.
Movement speed.
Oh, man. Ken almost confirmed it.
Grenade!
Got him.
That was the best death animation, too.
Small moment for Naventic here. Artana still trying to soak on the bottom half of the map. Top keep still fallen so far. Echo Corruption there being completed.
Oh, I thought it was done earlier. It's always hard to tell with the very end of the
Especially with the 40
there.
stacks, this is like, you know,
just barely.
1/40th. I'm amazed that your eyes are not accurate enough to be able to judge 1/40th of
I
like
know,
a
I need
small
my
golden.
reading glasses
My
that I
goodness.
don't actually own.
I'm old Gilly. I need my reading glasses.
Did you say I'm savage?
All right. Twilight Dream is going to be up in 7 seconds. A level advantage. The shrines are going to be up probably in about 30. Tomster. Party brushes everywhere. You know, and the thing is everybody's throwing parties, but nobody looks like they're having fun.
ETC always looks like he's having
That's
fun.
true. That's true. That guy knows how to rock out, but everybody
Does.
else, they just, you know, they just don't look like they're having as much enjoyment as you would expect for everybody calling each other, getting together, throwing a, you know, block party.
I think it depends how the party bush goes, who's the one having fun.
Yeah, whoever's sitting in the shrub first. So, I mean, you can't, if you're fashionably late to a party shrub, you usually have a bad time. I think that's how that works. I think I figured it out. So being fashionably late, yes, but how much fun you have, probably not that much.
So in this regard, in Heroes of the Storm, being fashionably late is not good.
Yeah, because fashionably late usually equals fashionably dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not so fashionable.
No.
Beacons!
Being captured, being split. We do see teammate Glaurung's just side soaking all the time here. Being able to get the soak far off there where nobody can really find him, and if they do, he can get a free escape, which he's going to make now casually. It looks like there's going to be a collapse, though, from Naventic. Oh, instead it's going to be just an evade. They aren't concerned about trying to get a kill onto him, as 16 is going to be picked up for Team 8. Then they'll force the issue. Naventic needs to be able to be looking to pick a fight. And it looks like Team 8 may be able to give it to him here on bottom.
There's a swap. Nope. Zuna, by the way, is building extremely tanky as a Tychus. He didn't go for quarterback, which is why we saw him chase a lot farther trying to get those grenade kills, because he needed Relentless Soldier. That's pretty early on the Molten Core, but does stop any further aggression from Team Naventic, which allows Team 8 to get 16 here.
It's actually a beautiful Molten Core, purely on the fact that that was the only moment Naventic has on the same talent tier. So he just goes, well, what if I make sure that there's a 0% chance you have success with this? And in fact, we are now going to be able to pick up 16, and this is where Team 8 makes the transitions. Prismaticism not staying on bottom to be able to get that soak. Instead, it is going to be Zeratul. That is a huge adjustment we see from Glaurung specifically in his playstyle this year looking towards last year is the split soak. Oh, goodness. He's going to teleport to the minion with his W. He's got one more blink. Horrify's got to be used if he wants any chance, so he will be able to escape.
The rest of the team is filing in too. 16's here for Team 8. They're actually at the boss without Zeratul. How is this going to work out?
Well, if Naventic doesn't have any idea, the answer to that question is going to be it's already dead. Swap, not attempted. Blind's going to be dropped. There's going to be the Void. The taunt was used, going to be Iron Skin. Use Sulfurous Smash is going to Sulfurous Whip. Prismat is going to get the swap there. Twilight Dream is yet to be used. Buzz ends up dropping it there onto Kenma and Zuna. On the chase, Blessed Shield is already used. Odin as well.
It's a nice root, but the swap comes out. Ice Block to make sure that Buzz does not get put inside the middle of Team Naventic. And Boss picked up for Team 8. Now the defense has to come in from Team Naventic, especially since that keep is fairly low in health, about halfway down, and that gives Team 8 time to go after the beacons. But Team Naventic don't want to allow it. They're going to fight without 16, not defending the boss.
Not only is this giving up a free keep on top, it's risking a fight 16 into 15, which I don't know if they're going to have there. Tomster is going to be able to retreat into the medvac. Everybody is going with it. The question is there going to be the follow-up there? Zuna dashes out. Yoda with the max range W, not going to be able to get any DPS out. So not only did Naventic 100% forfeit that top keep, but then there was unrealistic to be able to win that fight. And that's what we see from Naventic. They have this weird judgment when it comes to experience and which fights they should and should not take. Typically, we see that at 9 to 10. That's the first time we've ever seen it at 15 into 16. But very much is a large reason we see, you know, even Team 8 being able to get that lead because they are very comfortable with that side soak, waiting for those leads and never giving Naventic any moment to be able to capitalize on that stuff.
So now the Zerg Rush is here for Team 8. Team Naventic, this is going to be a very difficult defense. The keep is already low in health, but heroic abilities are here for Team Naventic. Not suppression pulse, but at least Horrify. If they can get the right Horrify, maybe get a pick off of this, they might not even get the chance. Void Prison, Sulfur Smash.
Is it gonna
Roots
come
down,
in?
Smash down 2. Johan is eliminated. So Silence for the Twilight Dream. 3 quick kills for Team 8. And they will walk away with game number 1 in the series.
Yeah, and they're going to do it in very convincing fashion. 12 to 3 when it comes to the kills. You know, outside of maybe one small laning decision very early on, there was not a single moment where I felt like Naventic was able to pull ahead in that game. Calculated across the board from Team 8, what we've come to expect out of them, I think, at this point. And Naventic making, I think, a little bit of a better showing than we saw out of yesterday. Not necessarily the greatest, obviously, still struggling into Team 8, but I think it was a little bit better than what we saw against Superstars yesterday.
Yeah, in their drafting, they had a lot of the tools that they needed. We didn't know about the Artanis pick for in the 1v1 lane, but everything else, they had Morales, which is a comfort for them as well as good for the map. Same with Gul'dan. So we'll see if they're able to hold their own in the next game right after this.
I was told this suit would be my prison.